By God, we're live.
And a point of goodies to all you Ramble maniacs, all you BC aliens out there. If it does go a little something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Ramblemania show proudly brings to you I was robbed. All right? I was robbed. I'm still 15-time Ramblemania champion. I was robbed. No, I'm the former. Former inaugural heavyweight tag team champion, then now forever Ramblemania hardcore champion. You're Vince Live, man. Patriarchy of the Ramblemania show. I'm Hazel, the iZombie. Join along with me as always.
Zai, your former 18-time Ramblemania champion of this, of that, of all died by God. Cosmos, TJ the Great, too. TJ the Great.
What up, Johnny? Pointing
What's
this
up,
to you.
Johnny?
This is our All Elite Wrestling 2025 live review here on the Ramblemania show. We're going to sit here and talk about the 10-match card that took place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania last night. The second annual Dynasty event. And my God, you know, it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. What's the third time?
Yeah. What is it? Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you.
Is Tony Khan Randy Marsh at this point? Is he's just like out there like, hey, fuck you? You know?
That's how he's feeling. I did peep some of the scrum yesterday. I always end up looking a little bit at just the Tony parts of the scrum and other individual parts afterward. And it does kind of seem like he is now in his bag of, I'm doing what the fuck I want to do, and I kind of don't give a fuck what y'all think about that. And
he's like, I'm serious. I'm not gonna sit back and take this fucking shit from any of you.
He means that this time, and you know what? Whatever, stick to your guns. I do respect that, but you know, as we will talk about with this show, there are potential consequences when you have your fans feel a certain sort of way.
What did you think about
you have a large outcry of fans feeling a certain way.
What did you think about the other Tony during the media scrum?
She's wonderful. She's fucking like, I'm gonna say this later and I'm gonna say it now. She is the world champion of this promotion right now. Toni Storm is the world champion of AEW. I know she's the women's world champion, but if you want to talk about like who is the representative of this promotion right now, it's fucking Toni Storm. She's the one.
We say that with Athena a lot as well. So it's like, I think Tony Khan has turned it around with not just the AEW women's division, but the Ring of Honor women's division as well, because they're the ones that are getting more of the angles, more of the big pushes, the main event spots when it's rightfully given to them.
Yeah. The numbers are bearing fruit for them. The women's division is much improved. Like, obviously, there are still steps that we can hopefully take. Like, you know, sometimes we end up with those still 1 or 2 matches on the card or something like that. Hopefully, we can get more as the TV continues to progress. But they are in a very good place with the women's division right now.
Shut up, Scott Steiner.
Yeah, you see, you want to talk about women?
Get your own fucking bags.
Get my bags. Tony was like, he didn't care about shit at the press conference. Yeah, he didn't seem like he gave a shit about nothing. You're a wolf in the building.
Where is the fire? What the fuck?
Yeah, they was going crazy out there.
They are like, shit. Probably a fucking 10-car pileup or something. Jesus Christ. Yeah, like, I saw bits of the media scrum, and it was, yeah, Tony is basically, he feels like the big kahuna now. And it's like, I mean, yeah, we were kind of, you know, telling you to grow some balls, be a boss, like, do something. Stop just standing there.
And I was going to say that, not for nothing. This is what y'all asked for. You asked for Tony to fuck man up or whatever other dumb shit. And now he's sitting there like, I don't give a fuck what y'all say. So now
but this is the thing. I don't think anybody asked for what we received once again. Look, I'm going to admit it right now. When we talked about Revolution last month, it was a fucking renaissance Do you really think we're gonna have that same energy going forward when we talk about this show? I don't think so. But here's the thing: it was still a great event. It delivered on some parts, and it failed on others. And it was, and honestly, like the lineup of the matches, it was basically like it was on and off on some parts. That's why I was like, when you guys were watching us, we were barely interacting. I think we were barely looking at our screens during some matches because we were just like, we were done. We were out of it.
I mean, I was locked in most of the night, even during the main. But I mean, yeah, a 4-hour show definitely feels more of a 4-hour show when you have that ending, as we're going to talk about. But even still, like, again, we're more or less used to the AEW formula of their pay-per-views go 4+ hours now. But yeah, again, this was one of those where we kind of felt it more, especially because this was a Sunday one. Like the Sunday ones definitely feel more 4 hours too at that, because, you know, it's the end of the weekend and, you know, things of that nature. People got things to do on Mondays, man. So if you're gonna do 4, try to do Saturday.
I feel like they have that formula sometimes where it's like when they do pay-per-views on Saturdays, it's like this is the sicko shit. But when it's like Sundays, here's the wrestling. It's basically the same shit like with TV. It's like Dynamite is the sicko shit, Collision is the wrestling.
So yeah, and I mean I also understand parsing out all the sicko shit and things of that nature. Like Revolution, we were coming off all those, like, we were ending feuds. We were doing blow-offs and things of that nature, while a lot of these feuds were things that had recently just popped up, or as I'm going to talk about later, things that are going to be continued on TV. A lot of what we saw in this show was things that are going to be continued to TV. So yeah, it was more of a continuation show in that respect, and I can respect that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with 12 matches overall, 2 being on the 0 hour, we will rapid fire those. But for those who are new here to the Ramblemania show, who are watching this for the first time, watching our pay-per-view recaps is a little bit different from us live streaming. We rank them on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is a who booked this shit. 2 is a bad with 2 Ds. 3 is a solid good. 4 is a bars. 5 is a GOAT. And 6 and up is whatever I want to randomly call it. But from what we told you last night, I think we're going to tell you again, there are possibly not going to be any GOATs going into this pay-per-view.
There's nothing below a good on this show for me, but there are no GOATs.
I got maybe 1 or 2 bars. That's really it.
I got
everything else is just like, you know, good to high goods. But we're going to rapid fire the 0 hour matches that took place, starting off with the COVID crew of Leo Rush and Action Andretti.
Damn COVID niggas, man.
Teaming up with Nick Wayne to take on AR Fox and Top Flight of Dante and Darius Martin in a trios match. This was 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, rapid fire this.
Yeah, this was fucking great. AR Fox showed the hell out on this. First, let me say, he said nasty TK worshippers are saying at least his Death Rider's angle is almost over. Listen, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but AR Fox is definitely that guy. He had a fucking fantastic performance. He came on after Twitter was talking about one of the spots he did where he fucking like flipped mid. He did a flip mid flip. That's the best way I can describe it. He flipped mid flip, like he changed his mind and flipped mid flip. Like that's AJ Styles level body control to pull off whatever cool spot you want to pull off, and I think that shit is so dope. So yeah, I thought he and Nick Wayne both in particular looked really good in this match. I'm glad Nick Wayne is out here getting more reps because, again, as one of the young guns that they keep touting of AEW, he should be out there getting reps. I'm glad he's going to Best of Super Juniors this year.
That too, I am happy for that as well.
Yeah, good shit.
I thought it was pretty fun. Like, yeah, it was obvious that AR Fox was gonna steal the 0 hour here with all the shit that he was doing. Like you said, this man did a flip into a flip onto some guys, and it's just like, such innovation, such talent that he has. It's like, he should be, given more opportunities than being stuck in the trios division. But I understand what they're trying to do, and I think honestly, just keep him in top flight. It works. You could help out the young guys, honestly, because they really need it at this point. They are desperate for fucking something, and if it's keeping them in the trios division, and so be it. I think we need more tag teams in the trios division than in the regular tag division. COVID boys is COVID boys. They was doing good. I enjoyed it. I think maybe it was more of like we're trying to get the Nick Wayne AR Fox angle underway, since we were putting that aside for a while. And I'm hoping that while they're still around before Nick Wayne goes to Japan, that we get something out of it, end it, and then he can go on to compete in the best of Super Juniors. So I'm gonna give it a solid good.
Indeed.
Next, we had Max Caster in his open challenge, taking on the returning Anthony Bowens with Billy Gunn. This shit was 40 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, what this was what we thought it was going to be, which was the payoff to Max's open challenge stuff, Anthony Bowen's big return, and it was all about Bowens from that point on. Like Matt Caster, his promo at the top was pretty fun. The Ben Simmons jersey, I got a kick out of that. Yeah, he got some good heat. I liked him saying, you guys don't really have any rhythm like my city of New York City, and they booed even harder. I was like, I like that. Good heat.
Bro, you're from Long Island.
Fact.
Like, shut up.
But yeah, Bowens came in, just knocked his ass out. Looked like a superstar, had the big presentation, the pyro, all that good stuff. Billy Gunn was still with him, which I didn't think Billy Gunn would still be with him, but I mean, I don't know. I guess if, whatever. You want to have that.
I'll be honest. Can I be honest about that?
Okay.
Keep him with Bowens.
Keep Billy Gunn?
I think there's more chemistry with those two than Billy and Max.
Okay,
the trios together, it was magical, but I feel like, honestly, if we're not going to have Billy Gunn continue to wrestle, at least have him mentor somebody, because where the fuck are his kids?
Yeah, what the hell happened to the Guns?
Again, they faced the fucking Hurt Syndicate. Bye.
Yeah, I guess the Hurt Syndicate, they didn't just hurt them, they killed them.
So yeah, I still didn't see the pyro. I want to see the pyro.
Yeah, go back and watch it. It was a good entrance.
5-2
let's player.
Go, Max. Understand you're here to die. And when I see you in Springfield, I'm gonna be like, let's go, Max. You are gonna fucking die. I'm gonna yell that shit so loud. I'm gonna make sure you hear it when you if you are gonna stream on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be checking for it. I'm gonna definitely be checking for it.
It gets a good. Honestly, like there's really not much to complain. Like he got a big pop on his return, and it's always nice to see that. Like, I know for a fact that the Max Caster open challenges are finally over, because I feel like the open challenges were leading up to this, because he was just talking a lot of shit the entire time he was doing this about Bowens, about Billy. So yeah, we got the win, but it's technically not over. I feel like we're going to be running this back in quite possibly, I don't know, when's Fyter Fest again?
Shit.
Better be in like fucking 4 weeks, because goddamn.
Yeah, usually it's around like July or whatever, right?
I'm overall, it's going to get a good. But now, submitted to the approval of the Ramblemania show, this is the tale of Tony Khan once again.
You blew it! You had it all and you blew it!
Why do you do this to us? This is the second main event that you leave us not just in a disappointing match, but in a disappointing manner of how it turned out.
Yeah. OG Chill Guys here. He says AEW always delivers. And you know what? I agree. but we're gonna talk about why that's a good and a bad thing.
Yeah, but for real, like, no, this is really the tale of just same old bullshit, different day. Without further ado, let's officially ramble here. We start off with the first round of the Owen Hart men's quarterfinal match. Will Ospreay going one-on-one with Kevin Knight in his pay-per-view debut. This was 13 minutes and 50 seconds. Go ahead, TJ. Let's begin the ramble.
Yes. Yabba, let me get the chat. Yabba says, spring break show maybe. Oh, for Fighter Fest? I can see that. It's almost ended. Well, we're just...
No, the spring break show is in Boston.
Oh, yeah. That's true. That's going to be their Fuck You Nitro show. So, yeah. So, no. Bill Gates says, Tony Khan tried to justify the end, shows how out of touch he is. Well, he's going to defend his ending no matter what. That's what you do. Kevin Bunny Hops Knight says, Young Wolf. Yes, let's talk about the man Kevin Knight. Like, because obviously Ospreay is well established. So the result of this match was never in question. We all knew he was going to win. But the question was more how Kevin Knight was going to look going up against probably the premier athletic guy in AEW up to this point. Who everybody knows is the freak athlete Will Ospreay. And Kevin Knight showed that he is definitely that caliber of athlete, perhaps even above with the type of things he does. Instantly, you see one of the best drop kicks in the game. Just a tremendous ups. And like I was saying, physicality and charisma to what he does. He has a lot of charisma, which I think helps you stand out in a field of guys who, like, because there's a lot of great high flyers in wrestling nowadays. They're all over the place. Yes, but it's the extra things that help you stand out amongst that crowd. And I think Kevin Knight definitely has those extra things in spades. So, yeah, I thought this was a very good match, the highest of goods.
Before I get into my stuff, guys, let everyone know that we are live on the Ramblemania show, recapping. Share this on your profiles, whatever you're watching us on. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers on our YouTube by June, 600 by the end of the year. And more importantly, click the Twitch subscriber button. We are trying to grow that more higher than ever. Importantly, we cannot do it without each and every single one of you letting the people know that the Ramblemania show is here live talking about a pay-per-view.
Yes.
What's going on, Robert? Pointing goodies to you.
What up, Robert?
The true premier athlete. That's how you, word. That's how you do it, Tony. And Jack Cartwheel is an amazing high flyer. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Pretty cool.
Would you give this match again?
The highest of goods, 3 and
3.5.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 3/4. Okay. Nah, honestly, very stoked opener, and you open it with the Owen Hart tournament. Like, immediately you got me suckered in, because, like, again, I'm always gonna be a sucker for fucking tournaments, and if we're gonna start off with this shit, then let's start off hot. And honestly, I'm gonna be real about it first. The first 5 minutes, Kevin Knight looked shook, looked a little nervous. And again, this is his big pay-per-view debut moment. And I was basically saying, like, it's a big moment, bro. Don't fuck it up. Got the jitters for about 5 minutes, but then he got back into the swing of things, and Will Ospreay probably try to help him get the nerves out of his system. And it worked. It worked because look at how well he got within the match after the 5 minutes of like the opening and shit. He got better and better, and the crowd was loving every minute of it, even with all the high elevation that he was doing. Like, yo, there were moments where upset victories could possibly happen at pay-per-views, and this probably would have been the biggest upset in Kevin Knight's career, eliminating Will Ospreay after he promised us to the world that he would win the cup and cash in his match at All In for the AEW World Championship. Can you imagine how shocking, how stunning that would be, how jarring that would be, that a young and up-and-coming talent is beating a guy 10 plus years in his prime?
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I would have gone home happy after that match. I would have just went home. I would have brought it home. I would have been like, you finish. I don't think I need to see anything else. Kevin Knight beat Will Ospreay. Anything can happen in pro wrestling. But no, it didn't happen that way. It turned out to be the obvious choice. It was still a great match. Kevin Knight did held his own. And, you know, all that training that he learned from Kushida. And Kushida brought a lot out of him while he was taking him under his wing. And he brought that to AEW, and he used that to his full potential. And trust me, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this man going forward. It gets a 3.5.
Johnny
and
Jot
shout out
amazing.
to Jim Ross, who was actually on commentary for that match as well. I'd be forgetting that too.
That was here, by God.
All right, well, the learning tree of Big Bill and Brian Keith taking on the men that like to hurt people for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was 11 flat. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
This was one of those things I was talking about at the top. I served the purpose more of facilitating the future stories more than anything else, with, you know, the MJF stuff and all that. But it was fun in the pocket. Like, I had fun with this match with Big Bill and Lashley. They were going meet. Big Bill, I thought, had a really good performance in this match. Like, whenever they spotlight Big Bill, especially lately, now that he's been kind of breaking out from under Jericho, he and Keith have been out on their own. He's been looking really solid. And yeah, as far as MJF, I actually thought that was interesting and underplayed for AEW because, you know, he popped out from the crowd. He popped out from the crowd and interfered, and then just sat back down in his seat next to West Side Gun, and then kind of was left there at the end. Like, they didn't really go back to him too much. AEW, you know, when they do interference, as we're going to talk about later, they fucking go all the way out the window with it. So I thought it was decently underplayed. But I thought it worked well. And again, facilitates the future story of MJF being the white boy. I saw tons of pictures on Twitter of Owen Hart in the Nation of Domination. And you know what? Fair enough. I'll give this a good.
Nah, this is a good match, but you know what my issue was, though, and I'm going to say this for certain matches, I don't think this really needed to be here. I'm going to give it a buck or two.
Rampage doesn't exist anymore.
I'm not saying Rampage. I'm saying this should have been a Battle of the Belts main eventer.
You could have did it there, too, but, like,
I mean,
again,
here's the thing.
Battle of the Belts is just Rampage.
I just felt like the bill was pretty weak, and it was more focused on MJF and the Hurt Business, like, trying to recruit. And then you got these guys coming in because, oh, remember, I was a tag team champion with a guy that works in a company I used to work in once upon a time. And I never got my rematch. So I won my rematch. And that was the story.
Is that or nothing?
I mean, look, I understand it was that or nothing, but I just feel like, you know, with MJF showing up, I felt like everything that Big Bill and Brian Keith was trying to do went out the window, and it was back to square one with, oh, is MJF going to be a part of the Hurt Syndicate? Does MVP want this? The real question is, does Lashley and Shelton want this? So, I don't know. I mean, it's a bit complex, and I don't want it to go extremely left and convoluted because it's just gonna be like what he did when he was in the Inner Circle. I feel like they're trying to tease that he's gonna have a faction of his own to face the Hurt Syndicate, which will get MVP back in the ring again. I don't know. Maybe I'm just pulling a fucking aluminum foil into my head right now, but from what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking of right now, if this is the plan, then so be it. I don't care. As long as it doesn't hurt or descend the Hurt Syndicate into dissension. Like, I can't have that. This faction is way too fucking hot right now.
Yeah,
it's way too hot.
They
and by the way, MJF and West Side Gun together don't really look right.
Boom, 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 boom.
And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna let this cook. Like we always say, we're gonna let this cook, right? Let's let it cook.
Street saying, look out for Kevin Knight for future business in the Hurt Syndicate. Kevin Knight?
So I'm guessing this was the favor?
Maybe.
No, I'm talking because they're showing me the footage. This is the favor. This man's gonna have Paul Heyman walk him down the aisle.
What does that mean? I don't. Whatever.
Because then they played a promo from 2013 teasing a fucking Easter egg. So I'm telling myself, wait a minute. Did Paul know that did Paul knew that Punk was gonna come back years later? Because none of this would have made like.
Is this a fucking match or is it a prom date? The fuck.
This nigga Triple H said long-term booking.
Whatever.
But not yet. The tag team match is getting a solid good. Next match. Mercedes Moné going one-on-one with Julia Hart in the Women's Owen Hart Cup Tournament quarterfinal match. This was 13 flat. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
Julia's one who I wish we give more reps in a lot of different places because I think like she has so much potential to be something really cool because she even showed it in this match. I'm gonna compliment her later, but I'm just talking about like the early parts of this match where she and Mercedes had a bit of a time meshing early on. There was a little bit of clunkiness in them trying to get their spots together, so they missed some stuff. But luckily, the crowd was hot. Crowd was super hot throughout most of this show. It kind of petered out later on, but early going, they were crazy hot, and they were way behind them for this. So they were able to settle in and catch their groove. And that's where we got to the cool parts of Julia because, like, obviously her entrance is dope as fuck. Like, she's got one of the best entrances. Everybody sings the song. She's got the cool.
I want that hat.
Everybody likes the hat.
No, I want the hat. Not everybody. I don't hear everybody talking about the hat. I want the hat.
Everybody thinks the hat is cool, but you're the one that wants the hat. Yes. But yes, she's got the awesome presentation. And then she has like little cool submission spots here. Like her submission exchanges with Mercedes at the end were really strong, I thought. With them going back and forth. She did like the heart into the heartless, and she did like a octopus and a wheel speak and all that. So a lot of good stuff there. And I really dug the finish of Mercedes trapping her with her shoulders down after she wore her out with the statement maker. Like, all right, she had the statement maker on her. Julia got to the ropes, didn't tap. She just pulled back, got her in a pin. She didn't have the strength to kick out of it. She was trapped. Basically just sort of, and Taz even said it, she escaped because Julia definitely wasn't giving up.
Yeah.
So, I thought this was a good match. I'm going to give this a solid goods.
Like matches like that show a lot of heart when it comes to one wrestler in particular, and Julia Hart is that standard because she showed it off here. She showed a lot of passion in this match, and it could have been the possibility that she would have advanced. There could have been people were saying that like, oh, in order for these two women to finally have their interaction instead of it taking place in the Owen, have them interfere in each other's matches, screw the other over. And then we have that pay-per-view match between Athena and Mercedes. But either way, it's like, whether if it's the Owen Cup or a regular match, you're still going to get the one-on-one. So just let us get the one-on-one in the Owen. Because it's going to be the prequel to what's really going to happen when belts are on the line. This is just for a prop and for a shot at the title. I don't think it's going to hurt them overall if one of them loses in the Owen.
And no, I don't think they'll get hurt by it. But
with Julia, I wish there was just more of like, because I want to see her. I want to see her succeed. I want to see her win. But I understand what's going on, so I have to accept this and just be okay with it because I know that they're gonna do good by Julia in the long run. So I'm hoping that's the case. But overall, it was still a great first round tourney. The submissions were great. And yeah, you were right. The first couple of minutes, the chemistry was off. I felt like I thought one of them was going to sandbag each other for a minute. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, but they got it together for sure.
No, and I'm happy that they got it together because shit, like if it ended up being like that for like the first 5 minutes and it was just going forward like that, it would have not looked good. I think, I don't know, man, but It was still fun. I think Julia Hart has literally improved and improved and improved ever since she made a return. And now with the Hounds of Hell, I feel like there's going to be more in her run going forward. I'm just hoping something good comes out of it. The match is getting a solid good though.
Respected. Chill Guy says Athena versus Banks. I mean Monet. Yes, finna go hard. Yes, that is the match that we have been most anticipating, and we are so close to finally being there.
Oh God. The Death Riders of Claudio Castagnoli.
God damn.
Pac and the little shit Wheeler Yuta in his hometown. My God. I know we got a lot to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
They take on the final time rated FTR of Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, and Cope for the AEW World Trios titles. This was 14 minutes and 45 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
It's time for me to be nice to the Dick Riders. This is probably the best thing that the rest of the Dick Riders have been involved in for a good long while, which, as I've consistently been saying, and we're going to talk about Mox, while Mox is deservedly catching much of the heat for all this because he's the top guy and he's the world champ, I have actually thought that the trios titles have been treated significantly worse than the world title in the long run, since even though we may not like the current world title story, it is at least still a story. Whereas the trio titles have been persona non grata, and it is completely stunted the division. So as bad as Mox has been, I think these three have been way worse for what they're supposed to be doing. So with that said, this match ruled. For a moment during this match, it felt like we were back to the early days of the Death Rider story, where we liked it, where Pac and Claudio were killers, and Yuta was the most hated man in the world. Like, I love that's the shit that's fun about watching these guys. Like, I was reminded that, hey, these guys are all great wrestlers. They're fucking fun to watch. I forgot because I've been involved in this bullshit for so long, but this was a reminder of that. Like, oh yeah, these guys are good and they're entertaining to watch. Like,
yeah, we forget shit like that sometimes, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know, these guys may be doing good shit, but they're really in a bad predicament.
Yeah, like it's in a bad way, but yeah, watching Pac and Claudio be killers and watching Yuta be the little shit was very fun. So it was obvious what was going to happen in terms of Cope and FTR, but they did this match in a way that made people care about the outcome of the Trios Championships and made people care for rated FTR and their performance. So yes, I'm gonna give them praise and hope that they can keep that momentum, because there's no reason that you can't have guys going after the Death Riders and trying to, still do that same thing that rated FTR was doing and restoring the feeling, so to speak, to the Trios division, like, and have these great matches. There's no reason you can't be having these types of matches every pay-per-view or even every week. So let's get back to this. I'm going to give this a good and a half.
They really just brought Tony Hinchcliffe to do commentary on Raw. Where's my gun?
That's the MAGA company, baby. That's the MAGA company, baby. That's y'all peoples. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He's going to sit here and commentate the New Day Viking Raiders match for the tag titles.
I can't wait
No.
until you know who himself is like, I want to come back. I want to sit in the crowd at WrestleMania.
No.
I can't wait till that happens.
The day that happens, I'll turn back on to TNA.
Oh, I can't wait. TNA go sit there and show it on TV too, because they'll stand up for themselves. I can't wait.
Yo, Yeah, I should have went for the obvious and went with the Death Riders for this one. I was thinking to myself, maybe it could happen. Maybe. Because I'm tired of waiting. I don't want to wait any longer. We gotta give these fucking belts up. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. When they show up, they don't fucking have the belts. But when it's time to defend them, there they are. It's like, I don't understand. Why is it that we still need more time with these guys holding on to these belts? What is the reason? If it's really because we are waiting for Darby Allin to solve all of this, then this has literally gone off the deep end. You are literally jumping the shark with this nonsense. Just like what you did in the fucking main event. But this was still fun. It was still great. It was nice for Yuta to get booed even in his hometown. You'd have thought that the sickos would be like, fuck the crowd, let's chant Yuta. No, it was the other way around. Shocking, because, rightfully deserved, well deserved, man. Claudio is fucking great. Pac is amazing. And yeah, the whole thing that was being told throughout the match was the dissension between Rated FTR. Could Dax be going off on his own? Could Cash be joining him? Or are they all going to coexist? We all thought that, and then the inevitable happened. And when it did, I just told myself, yeah, maybe I knew this was coming, but I wanted to think otherwise. And I kept it that narrow because I was at that point where it's like, all right, if one doesn't work, then let's try the other one. And that's what we're going to talk about later as well. I'm going to give the match 3 1/4. It was good because it was good for Cope to come off the fucking main event that he had at Revolution, because that was bad. And coming off the controversy that he had from the street fight as well, from that Spike incident.
No,
so
yes.
It's good shit. And again, the story was really being told between these 3 guys. I don't like the Death Riders wouldn't give a shit if they were a part of the angle. I think they were just there to do their job, and that's it. So yeah, 3 1/4. Next Mitch. Timeless. Tony Storm taking on the Megasis, Megan Bayne, for the AEW Women's World Championship. It was 15 minutes and 25 seconds. Go ahead, TJ Ramble.
I don't know when Egg is coming back, Johnny.
Yeah, no broken neck, but I think they're writing him off because he has other stuff to promote.
Yeah, and then he'll come back and team up with Christian Cage. But yes, let's talk Tony and the Megasis. Let's talk Rock. Get out of here, Rock. Come on. She did the whole Rocky setup. Because she is the timeless one. She does the cinema. And like I said earlier, Tony Storm is the actual world champion of AEW until further notice. She is the one. She is the polar opposite of the Death Riders in that everything she does works. And the crowd hangs on to every single moment. They basically booked this as Rock and Brock at SummerSlam 02, but if Rock had eked out a flash pin and just escaped with his life instead of Brock winning the match. Because Megan looked like a complete beast in there, to the point where even after Luther removed Penelope Ford from the equation, she just took most of the punishment and took over most of the match and looked like she was moments away from winning. Like, Tony Storm did not beat Megan Bayne. She survived Megan Bayne, which is a great look going forward for Megan, despite the fact that she lost. She's more or less still undefeated. So her push will remain strong, hopefully, and Tony remains probably the hottest thing in the company as a singles act. So bars, my first bars of the evening.
This was quite possibly the dopest shit I've seen between these two women. First of all, the cinema. Fucking cinema with Toni Storm pulling off the Rocky stuff. It's just fucking amazing. She plays the character so well. It's fucking gold. It works. It's over. People love it. People love when she talks. People love when she competes. People love when she goes and tells a story because she likes to get theatric with her work. This match had some of those moments where at that time we are still trying to make Megan Bayne look super fucking strong. Like, yeah, you may have gotten a pinfall victory over the world champ, which big ups to you. You well deserved. But here is when you know right then and there, things are going to be different. You're not going to lose, but you're going to feel like you just lost. You didn't get beat legitimately. Someone snuck a win away from you. Still protects her. Still made her look strong. And I think overall, like, Megan Bayne was an absolute monster here. Beautiful, athletic, powerful. Like when Toni did the hip attack, she does it 3 times. And then the Storm Zero. And this woman kicks out at 1. At 1.
Work. That was
and the crowd erupted. Because that right there could tell you that this woman is strong and that they're booking her to look this fucking strong. And it showed that a pinfall victory over her would have tarnished all of that momentum that she had going into that match. And I'm happy that it ended the way it did because it doesn't hurt her in the long run. Because maybe a rematch will come back in the long run. But at the same time, we still need to give Megan Bayne more wins. And it could be that her next rivalry would be Chris Statlander going forward.
Her and Chris Stat is that's a money match.
That's
you gotta definitely build to that. That's money.
That is definite money right there. So yeah, great match, super fun. Love the psychology. I'm with you on this. I'm giving this bars.
Yeah, definitely rock with this.
Definite bars. Kyle Fletcher going 1-on-1 with Mark Briscoe in the men's Owen Hart tournament quarterfinal match. This was 16 minutes and 15 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
So I think Mark Briscoe is Mick Foley-esque in the way that he will use his body and the connection that he can build with the fans in tandem to get what he's doing and who he's wrestling over. Like, Mick Foley is famously probably one of the best guys ever at putting over the star wrestler that everybody wanted to push. Like, he did that for Triple H and The Rock and Austin and all that type of stuff, to the point where the fans recognized that and they wanted Mick Foley to get his shine. Like, Mark Briscoe, I feel like, is a modern day version of that guy. And just like the way Mick Foley helped guys like The Rock and Triple H, I think since Kyle is one of the brightest stars AEW has coming up, every single match these two have had together furthers his standing in that. Like, I think these two have really fucking good chemistry in the way that they wrestle. Like, Kyle always fucking just murders him, and Mark takes it. Mark is willing to take it because he I guess respects the kid and is willing to put him over. So again, I'm going bars for this. Back-to-back bars.
This is another one where I feel like this didn't really need to be on the pay-per-view. Like, this should have been on, like, Dynamite or Collision.
Rampage doesn't exist.
But I'm not hating. it's still pretty fun. I think Mark Briscoe likes to look like a car crash every time he has a match against someone, and Kyle Fletcher is the perfect person to do that job. Again, it felt like a TV match, dude. There's really not much I could say about it. It was still fun. I like seeing these guys compete against each other because they tell really good stories in that ring when it's necessary. They know how to sell each other's moves so well. They can make it feel like that. Oh, I broke my ribs or I punctured a lung. Help, type shit. Like Mark Briscoe's a stiff dude. Kyle Fletcher is a stiff dude. They hit for real. So seeing their fourth encounter here, it was pretty fun, and it was fast paced as well. Didn't really have the technical feels of an Owen Hart Cup, and I think that was because of whatever time that they gave them. Which, give me a sec, it was 16 minutes. You'd think that they would have paced this out well, but it didn't. It was more like they were rushing for time, trying to get all their shit in. And I'm like, you guys still had time to do all this. You didn't have to rush it all, but it was still great to see Mark Briscoe on pay-per-view and competing, especially if it's again for the Owen Hart Cup. But Kyle Fletcher advances, and more than likely, that's what's going to end up being the final, I think. Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay once again. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna give this one. This one gets a 3.5. All right. Bandito going one-on-one with Chris Jericho in a title versus mask match for the Ring of Honor World Championship. 18 minutes and 15 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
Yeah, a lot of this is these two playing the hits from the prior matches that they've had with the super duper vertical suplex spot and all that type of stuff. The top rope Rondas from Jericho, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Especially not when it comes to modern Chris Jericho, who has finally found a groove of being watchable television again. So fine, do what you got to do to keep this fun and watchable. And that's what I thought this was. Jericho was a fine heel. Bandito worked well from underneath. The Dusty finish was cheeky, but it paid off well with what ultimately was the right result. Like, we couldn't hem and haw about how we got there, but we got there and it felt good. Bandito got that world title off of him. We're free of Jericho holding the Ring of Honor world title again. We'll probably get to see some more of the Ring of Honor world title again, or maybe not, because they're kind of pushing Bandito here in AEW. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to give this a good 1.5.
Hey, guys, want to see Cody Rhodes and John Cena on Monday Night Raw? Well, watch this goddamn music video that they're doing to hype up WrestleMania. This is the only time you're going to see those motherfuckers.
Awesome.
So, yeah, 4.25 for this match. There was a lot at stake here. And honestly, we've been giving Jericho shit for about a year now, but we weren't giving, like, when you give Jericho shit, you have your reasons. But you're not one of those people that's like, oh, please retire. No, you're just like everyone else. Like, yo, bro, go away. I can't miss you if you don't go away. Type shit. So this could be it, because his tour is coming up, right?
Maybe. Yeah, he might be doing a Fozzy tour soon. Yeah.
So if this is the reason, I mean, I don't want to say that this was the legitimate reason why he had to give up the Ring of Honor world title, because if that was the case, he would have just lost. He would have gave Bandito the Ring of Honor world title on that Collision show that they did, instead of making us wait another month or so. Like, but that's the thing. once the 0 hour started on Revolution and it was him and Gravity, first of all, I wasn't expecting a DQ. And then it went from the match doesn't matter. There's actual story being told here, and it looks serious. And this man has Bandito's brother's mask, Gravity's.
Yes.
Gets the mask back. But now we're raising the stakes. We're going to put the Ring of Honor world title on the line. But Bandito also needs to put his mask on the line as well. Now, we all know Jericho's Lucha Libre history being the Corazón de León. I wish he would have went to that gimmick facing Bandito here. That would have went so cool, but I get where he was coming from. He wanted to transition from that and do more newer things. This was one of those where it's like, for once, Jericho was at his A game and people were actually behind with the story. People were behind him. People were behind Bandito. And they literally just said, fuck it. What is the point of us being behind the Death Riders when they're the most boring at the moment? Jericho unboard himself. And he got people talking about him again in a way that he wants to feel praised for, which he rightfully deserves to be praised. Because look at all the hard work that he had to put to make this angle feel like it's something, since people were already getting tired of him. So yeah, bars. Definite bars. This was a fun match. This was great. I love the story. Thank you for having the Ring of Honor world title, and thank you for giving it to Bandito. Now go do your tour. Now I could actually miss you for the next couple of months until you make your return.
One can hope that you go. Yes.
For the AEW TNT Championship, Adam Cole going one-on-one with Daniel Garcia. And this match was 15 minutes and 35 seconds. Go ahead, TJ. Ramble on.
So under the hood of this, I thought there was a very solid story to this match. I like that the idea, and they talked about it, was Daniel Garcia is very determined to actually beat Adam Cole. Like they said, despite the fact that he is the champion and Cole is the one that has to beat him, he wants to prove himself and beat Cole. And he was willing to go deep into his bag and do things like the top rope pile driver and things of that nature. That's how determined and far he was willing to go to pull this off. And after this, Daddy Magic cut a promo on him in the back that kind of gives a little more context to everything. Talking about he should put his pride aside. And again, I thought that put this into some good context because DG definitely wrestled this match pridefully and to a fault. And as Daddy Magic said, he gave Cole the info needed for Adam Cole to finally outpace him and get a win. So I think it's a good match in that respect. But now I think the potential problem now lies within the follow-up, as while I can take the point of Adam Cole needing this to complete the full circle of the rehab job he's been on the past year since he's returned from his injury, I would still argue that DG needed this more to solidify the work he had put in on TV as the TNT champ, because I said this was his first pay-per-view defense of the title, and now he's lost it. So having him lose to Adam Cole and then fade into the background for lack of better terms would piss all over that work he did. And I hope that TK is perceptive enough to have a future path for him laid out, because I think Adam Cole could have bounced back more easily from a loss than DG could have bounced back from this, because I think he'll need a little bit of help too. And that's why I originally picked DG to win the match. But again, I'm going to give this a good and a half. I thought they, again, told a very good story within this match. And I just have my worries and quibbles about the results and the follow-up.
I understand completely where you're coming from, because here's the thing. I felt the exact same way when I was predicting this match. But for the past couple of days, I've even been saying that, they're going to switch the belts. If not one, but two of them, then quite possibly the TNT title is the one that's going to switch hands. I'm not using it was Cole's 17-year anniversary, blah, 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 which, by the way, props to him for wearing the Witcher gear and all that good shit.
Yes.
It was just, for me, I wanted something to just feel sensible. And you know what's so funny? When this match started, I was telling myself, yo, Reseda vibes are still here. And then we're talking about how DG is still the PWG world champion.
He is.
And then we're talking about how fucking Tommy End and Brody King are still the tag team champions. And this man is going to the E. This man might be facing Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
They're about to pull up in the Tony Hinchcliffe company.
This is what I'm going to admit here. I was bored.
Fair.
I'm sorry. It's like, nothing against these two guys. I think, honestly, they tried their best here. But this is the part where things were starting to die out. It was getting tiring. Because we were already getting near the end with the final two matches left. But this was the come down. Everybody was literally like distracted. Not gonna say like they were fully distracted, but there were moments where not everyone was literally excited for this. But once the title change happened, it's like everybody woke the hell up. Even I did. And I'm just like, well, okay. Adam Cole won. And that's what I was telling myself. Like, if I lose one, I'm gonna win one. I lost the fucking Death Riders. So I ended up winning the Adam Cole one, and you all lost that. So we're even. We still need to ask Young Wolf what was going through his mind when he thought Julia Hart would beat Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, I don't know what you was thinking about Young Wolf. You was thinking crazy on that.
But then again, not everything that we predicted turned out to be true, which was an utter disappointment. And you guys weren't upset, but you guys were a little baffled that, like, oh, really? Really? I was just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. I'm willing to let this cook. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm willing to let them cook with this. I don't want to go into Wednesday feeling skeptical like everyone else is. Everyone's thinking, oh, Adam Cole's going to get injured and they're going to have to relinquish the title. And I'm like,
oh, no, that's crazy. Don't disrespect him like that.
Stop.
Hey, wildin'. Nah. The Adam Cole part of it, again, I have no problem with that. Like, Adam Cole, again, after the recovery that he's had and, coming back from the injury, trying to get back into the groove of what he was before, at least something close to what he was before. This is a good capper of that journey. So it's good for Adam Cole. Like, it's nothing against Adam Cole. And I do have faith in him being able to be a good TNT champion. Like he said, he has been able to be a champion everywhere he's ever worked. And he's done it well. So I have no reason to believe he wouldn't be a good TNT champion. I'm just concerned about the DG side of it.
Yeah, I'm concerned about it too. I mean, you are right. He has had more TV defenses than pay-per-view defenses, and this was his first one, and he immediately loses. Maybe it's one of those analogies like you were TV ready, not pay-per-view ready.
And Cole did kind of say that. So I guess that's kind of the story.
That might have been the case. But I mean, we've seen this man compete on pay-per-views multiple times.
Exactly. We know he is pay-per-view ready. Like he's had great pay-per-view matches and moments.
You know what it is? If Adam Cole said the line, they ring the freaking bell, I think people would have been like, oh, Daniel Garcia's been buried.
Yeah. But Daniel Garcia is not that guy because when they ring the bell, that's when he's at his best.
That's when he's Red Death.
Yeah.
3.5. 3.5. Good for Adam Cole. Let's see how they work with this belt, with him possessing it. I can't wait. All right, for the AEW International Championship in a triple threat match, Kenny Omega defends against Ricochet and Mike Bailey.
God damn it. Yes, the speedball.
The second longest match of the night with 31 minutes. Yo, Ramble on.
Yeah. Surprising that this was the second longest. But match of the night for sure. Right here. I can definitely take and concede the point that this is a 30-minute match that probably should have gone maybe 20 to 25. But like, these guys clearly all had a lot of ideas for stuff they wanted to do in this match. And to their credit, just about all of the ideas worked. Like, just about everything they did was fucking cool. So I can't hate. Like, if you want to argue the point, it's a little bit too much of a good thing. It's just still just a little bit too much of a good thing. Like, I still overall had a really good time. But yeah, there is something to letting Kenny Omega do what people have wanted to see from Kenny Omega in AEW. Just have blowaway matches with top caliber talent that extends the rope that people are willing to give things. And he took full advantage of that. Speedball, I think, fits in perfectly with quote unquote, we're the best wrestle. Again, one of the best fucking karate crane kicks I've ever seen in a match.
Oh my god.
Ricochet, she was outstanding.
Oh my god, man. Mr. Miyagi will be proud.
Hell yeah. That was fantastic. And then Rico, of course, continues to have, I think, the run of his life, man. He's been fucking great here. Stooging, healing, while still being the Ricochet that we know he can be in that ring, doing incredible moves and taking great bumps. So, yeah. Bars and a half, my match of the night. Fantastic stuff.
I'm with you on that. This is getting a 4.5. Definite. It would have been a GOAT. It might have been a GOAT. Yeah. But this is the thing. And I said this a couple of months ago. I can't give every match in All Elite Wrestling a GOAT because 5-star matches won't feel special if I'm just throwing GOATs at everything that I see.
Yeah, not
again, this was close to a GOAT because this was actually the match of the night. This was the definite match of the night. Not because, it's Kenny Omega. No, it's because, this is Speedball's pay-per-view debut as well. Ricochet is getting a championship match after his loss against Swerve, but then after he found a cheap way to enter himself into the match by not just stealing a win from,
Droga!
but now having to share a win with, so whatever. We wanted to get him on the pay-per-view, you got him. He did his thing. He was fun. He was great. This man even got on commentary and, had that little Eric Andre moment where he got kicked and then type shit. So it's fun. He's giving. Why is he giving me Rock vibes?
Rock. he is. I think somebody in the chat even said he is feeling like early '96 Rock. Yeah, he does have those vibes right now. And Ricochet has said his favorite wrestler is
no, not even. We're talking corporate Rock.
Yeah.
We're talking Deadly Games Rock.
And I do see it. And given that his favorite wrestler is The Rock, I can see him taking bits and pieces of that.
I think he had literally his promos have improved. I think honestly this has been the best move. I know I've been giving him shit for years about it, but after a while it's like once you make a transition that I see fits you and it becomes interesting, then yeah, I'm gonna stick behind it. And this is the one thing that I can now say I'm sticking behind.
He has.
So
Yeah, he found
and
something
you
that
know,
works for him.
these guys, they like to go out there and pull off all the fucking stops, all the maneuvers, all the sick bumps. There have been moments where fucking Ricochet were just taking bumps off the fucking apron. There's literally one. There was one bump. I was like, who took a super kick and then did a backflip?
That was Speedball, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
He got kicked by Ricochet, and then all of a sudden he does a backflip on the
Yeah.
outside. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's just a kick. You didn't have to go backwards. And then, you know, the sicko shit of it all. Kenny, by God Omega, with the avalanche, one-winged angel onto Ricochet's bald, shiny head that fucking Samantha Irving likes to rub off on every fucking morning.
Right, you got Samantha. Yeah, calling him bald. You got her.
Yo, and the bald chants, the fucking bald chant. Bald, bald, bald. You are bald. You are bald.
Bald forever.
Let's go bald.
Like they be wildin', man.
They went, yo. I mean, it's one of those where it's like Philly is one of those towns that is legendary, known for their fucking fan base, like us in New York and like people in Boston and in Chicago and all those big towns. Nah, these niggas was weird.
Yeah. Philly crowd was definitely a great crowd.
They were like, we want bald. We want bald. I'm like, you got bald right there.
Oh, Yoshi's here. She says, check your messages, Hazel. Jump scare waiting.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get jump scared.
And Kenny's V triggers were wilding out.
Maybe I should turn up the volume or something.
Is it a volume? I don't know if it's gonna be a volume thing. But you go be
that'd be a volume thing, I swear to God.
Run, it's Stephanie McMahon looking like Rhea Ripley.
It's the Wicked Witch of the Fed.
Oh my God. It's the Wicked Witch of the NDAs.
Not the NDAs. The NDAs is crazy.
Yo, so I was seeing this and I'm like, ain't no way Rhea Ripley about to put makeup on this girl. And she just looked like an extra from a South Park metal band.
The fucking goth kids aren't supposed to make up the preps.
No, she's the one yelling, I hate this form! I hate this form!
What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Oh my God. Becky, look at this girl. She is off the rails. Send her to a mental institute. Yo, the main event, Jon Moxley versus Swerve for the AEW World Title was 31 minutes and 35 seconds. The fucking goddamn bullshit. Go ahead, TJ. Let's bring this shit home, man.
Shout out to Swerve, as always. Shout out to Static Shock.
Superhero Static Shock.
Real shit. I will say, as a match, I actually thought this was Mox's best pay-per-view title defense since probably Full Gear, which is like his last really good match. Like the orange match was really good, but I think Mox did well as like a domineering heel, like challenging Swerve, and the concept of that was Swerve fighting back with the stiff right hands, and then they had these basically just was throwing stiff hands at each other. I like that. The problem, as it usually is with these nowadays, comes when we get to the run-ins and the overbooking. Because now, what was set up as a crowning moment, regardless of what your story was to this point, you have sold fans on a potential crowning moment tonight versus the continuation of what many view as a reign of terror. And that all gets pushed aside to, once again, set up multiple future stories. And this is something that we've harped on in AEW for years now. Their desire to interweave multiple stories and tell multiple stories all at once, and how it can hamper their ability to tell individual singular stories. Like we've said, the problem with AEW has never been that they don't tell stories. That's bullshit. The reality is they tell too many stories sometimes. And this was another symptom of that. Like, I think Swerve losing is straight up the wrong decision. But if you're going to do it, I think the idea of blowing this moment that you set up with him and Hangman was wholly unnecessary, completely unnecessary. And that sours what is otherwise a pretty interesting prospect of them versus the returning Young Bucks. Because, like, all right, we saw what happened on Dynamite with Hangman and Swerve, where, you know, they have the moment. You burn my house down. You deserved it. I know. We saw that moment, and we all started to get excited and speculate about what that could be and where that would lead to. And we even said Hangman will be the one to end up helping Swerve win the title tonight. To go in the opposite direction of that sort of dust that story. And like, now we know they're still on the path of perhaps ended up on the same side. But because of how you soured it in this match and how you soured that potential moment of them coming together, we can't be as excited as the prospect. You see what I mean? You're trying to set up multiple stories within one situation, but the execution of it is so clumsy that you're ruining the potential excitement for those stories. So again, in continuing to do this with Mox and the Death Riders, again, Tony must feel very confident based on the numbers he has and based on everything that he's seen that he can stay this course and AEW won't be hurt at all by it. And, you know, they're set to be profitable this year. The numbers are up. So it's understandable. But I just think that when you see those tickets move in that time frame for All In like that, just off the prospect of what it was quantifiable. You know that it was the idea of Swerve and Hangman that moved those tickets. So I feel like when you look at that and you look at this as a pivot point, go back to WCW, the company you're about to run a victory lap over, but go back to WCW 1996. We were in the throes of the NWO and Hulk Hogan and his reign of terror. And obviously Eric Bischoff, he was in a similar scenario where he had one guy that he wanted to come back at the end of it all as the top guy and beat Hogan and conquer the villains. Sting. For Tony now is Darby Allin. But there was a point in 1996 where on a Nitro, and it is one of the most talked about Nitro moments ever, Lex Luger beats Hulk Hogan for the world title. It's one of the craziest moments. Confetti comes down, the roster comes out, they're all holding Luger up on their shoulders. It did a great number on TV and all that. Like, it was one of the sickest moments, one of the greatest moments of Luger's career, of Nitro, all that.
And you want to know the crazy part? You want to know when that actually happened?
Yeah.
2 weeks after the start of the Hogan and Sting storyline.
Yep. It was right when they were just starting to beef up Hogan and Sting and get ready to run that story with Sting all that time later at Starrcade. But they still saw an opportunity and said, well, you can strike here and strike on this hot moment. And obviously they did that with Luger. And they got it back to Hogan and continued with their intended story. So even if you wanted to do that, I even think that option was there over what they did and how they did it on this night. So, yes, I'm not going to sit here and then jump out the window about the result in spite of the fact that I don't like the result. I'm just going to sit here and like I have explained why I think this wasn't the right course to go. And as far as the match, I'm going to give it a straight good. Mox and Swerve worked hard. Again, I like the hands that they threw. I like the Swerve stomp through the table. It was a decent match. Probably should have been 30 minutes but I didn't really even realize it was that long. So I guess there's something positive to be said about that.
Again, you know, it's one of those where it's like we're sitting here, we're trying to focus, but with so much going on and we're literally distracted by other things, we weren't really thinking to ourselves that this match was going to be as long as it was. I mean, again, the fact that they gave this match an extra 35 seconds from the triple threat match, it tells it all right there that I think Tony really has something set in store. But it's like, here's the thing, my dude. You're in a too little, too late situation for you to really be sitting there having us make us wait for Darby Allin. We can't do that. You can't do that. It's embarrassing to your company. The fact that now, within the next couple of weeks, going into the next pay-per-view, we have to hear Moxley explain his iota of pride on how he has a goal and a standard going into All Elite Wrestling, when in fact you still never told us what that was. The fact that we're still going to be sitting here for a couple of more weeks watching a title being held hostage inside of a briefcase that just looks like a Money in the Bank cash-in. It is stupid. You might as well just give Moxley a plant and call it Mitch and have him come out with it. It's goofy.
Yeah.
I am not. Now, here's the thing. I am not going to say that I'm tired of this, because I think you and I have been saying it for long and more than enough already. We've been saying it ever since the whole thing with Orange Cassidy. We're done. We're done with this. And every time an opportunity comes a knocking, something has to happen. Like, everyone likes to say that wrestlers like to play their creative control clause. Again, I don't think these motherfuckers have creative control. I just think it's like what you said. I think Tony is literally boosting his ego off the fact that AEW Weekly with both shows is getting 500 plus viewers, making it 1 million viewers overall. And we're boosting on that and selling tickets off of that in order to give us what honestly could be. I'm going to tell you this, guys, right now. This honestly was a B show pay-per-view. Okay. Swerve coming out of Static Shock was awesome. Very great. But we were telling ourselves, can lightning strike twice in a bottle? Can Tony Khan not just get it right? Can he do right? Not just by the wrestling community, but by the black community, by our demographic alone, and give the guy that we highly praise and love the championship once again and run it? Can you not make us wait another 3 to 5 months for Darby Allin to finish climbing up a mountain? We don't need to keep this going. So last time I checked, Darby Allin ain't Sting, and he's not here to be standing up in the fucking rafters watching the Death Riders do stupid shit every week. I should not have to go into a pay-per-view main event feeling this disappointed. But honestly, it was better than the last one. That's all I can really say. That was good from it. It was better than the last one. But again, it falls under that trope of there were fucking 11 bodies showing up. The Dick Riders, AEW guys, the fucking ops.
The ops.
And then to top it all off, I guess their wives told them to get out of the house and go get jobs. And they got their jobs back. And they fucked over Swerve. And they let Moxley pin him and retain the belt. I don't care how much air I punched. My fucking trophy for the Soul Train Awards will be coming in the mail soon.
Just be lucky no children were punched.
Yes, no children were harmed. In the
No
film
children
you
were
just
harmed.
raised.
Yeah. None. Okay. But I can tell you this much. I just shut down all the rage that I had and I just literally put it all to bed because tomorrow it was just going to be another day the next day. And once I talk about it, I just get all the frustration out that I needed to. And I'm literally like, I have no more frustration going into the Dick Riders because I'm done at this point. I'm literally done. I can't do this anymore. With that being said, bad. It was not, once again, it was a disappointing, underdelivered, lackluster main event that just had a clusterfuck cornucopia of bullshit mixed with cow dung and multiple fucking turds of rabbit shit put together, and the one swimming in it was Seth Rollins. So yeah, honestly, I like Tony Khan really needs to stop with these underwhelming main events. This is practically the third main event in a row that has felt like lackluster. Can't keep doing this. You got to change something here, man. And we were thinking this was the night that they do it, that they actually change it. Nobody expected the Young Bucks. Nobody.
Nope.
And they showed up. So now they're a part of the storyline. So what's the angle going into Wednesday now? What's Hangman's purpose now since he came and helped out Swerve? What's the Ops purpose now? Are they the ones going after the trio titles? Are we finally going to pull the trigger on that? Give it to the Ops? Because we need something done. We need something done. We've been saying for months how the trios division is in dire need of a comeback. The World Championship is in dire need of a comeback. It is literally on the stretcher, inches away to the morgue. All it needs is that one final push, and it's going into the incinerator.
Yeah.
Bad, man. I mean, I love Swerve. But again, even Swerve is going to have a bad day, and this was one of those matches. I really wanted more out of this. And you gave me absolutely fucking nothing. Just the same old bullshit with different people now involved. It's like, remember when TNA had the Cross the Line faction going up against the Main Event Mafia? This is what this is.
The front line, yeah.
Yeah, the front line. This is what this is. And guess who's leading the front line once again?
My God.
You know what that means, right?
What?
Guess who's finally going to join the elite when it comes to Double or Nothing?
No.
No more Ops. Tony Khan loves TNA shit, huh?
He's going to have Samoa Joe kidnapped by ninjas. Nation of violence.
Oh yeah, we're gonna jumpstart and stop that shit immediately. Just get him kidnapped and then come back. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so match of the night, worst match of the night, overall grade for the show.
Yeah, match of the night, as I said, international title, Omega Speedball, and Rico. Again, I had 3 matches above bars on this show, and that stood out above all of those. And those, I thought that was the peak of that. Worst match of the night, I guess you would have to either go between the tag match or the main event. But like, again, I didn't think any match on the show was really bad. Just they were fine. So yeah, I guess the main again, fine with another bad ending. So that drags it down past that. So yeah, we'll go with the main. But the overall great for the show, I'll give it a B. And I will say, I think AEW, like you said at the top, they always deliver, like Chill Guy said, and I agree with that. They set a very high standard for themselves in terms of pay-per-views, because we've always said this: AEW always delivers on pay-per-view. You're always expecting a good AEW pay-per-view with a bunch of good to great matches, and this was essentially that. Like, again, nigga like me, I've been watching wrestling a long time, so I remember we lived in a time where fucking you'd be lucky to get like one of a match this caliber on a major company's pay-per-view. Like, we'd sit through fucking a 3.5 hour fucking WWE or TNA show with fucking Kevin Nash stumbling around the ring, can't even walk, or some bullshit like that. And we would hold on to like the one Motor City Machine Guns match, or the one like fucking Hardy's match, or something like that. We went through rough times, and I remember that, and I understand that, and I know that now, you know, a good pay-per-view with a slate of good matches is a good pay-per-view with a slate of good matches. It doesn't always have to be at this standard. And while it is a high standard, and I understand if sometimes people don't get that super blow-away GOAT level match, that they may feel a little down on things, but I would say that this, again, was an ultimately enjoyable show. Even if you want to argue, yeah, it was kind of a B pay-per-view, but still enjoyable in that sense. So yeah, let me give it a B.
Yeah, I could say it was very enjoyable. The best match tonight, yes, it is gonna go to the international triple threat match. Good job from Mike Bailey making his pay-per-view debut. He knocked it out of the park. Ricochet killed it. Kenny Omega doing his thing. Good shit. Yo, we didn't even talk about the confrontation between him and Okada.
Yes, Okada pulled up afterward, universe cut scene style. Goddamn. And yeah, they had a fucking stare down.
Tongue twister there.
Yeah, that was a tongue twister. But yeah, they had a stare down, and it was sick. So it looks like we might be getting that unification at all.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was hoping that was never going to be the case. Like, I didn't care if it was like they didn't have any belts. I would have loved for them to go one-on-one with non-titles or one of the belts. Title unification, I feel like we've done too many of those at this point, and it's still going to kick ass, no doubt about it. I'm ready to see what these two men are willing to do at what could possibly be All In. You called it.
Yep.
Oh, Young Wolf says we're getting the Intercontinental Champion.
Jericho gonna win it. There will never, ever bad AEW pay-per-view. I agree. A straight up bad one, I don't think that'll ever happen. I'll be shocked. They got too much talent.
There hasn't been a bad one, but there was at least one that was disappointing, not terrible.
Yeah, I feel like you can have ones that are like, all right, this is all right, or slightly below standard, but yeah, there will never be a straight up bad AEW pay-per-view show. Like, I can't see it happening. There's too much talent.
Worst match of the night, definitely the main event. We're still dealing with Moxley holding on to the title. There's really not much I can say. Overall, like I said, the show felt average tier, and it got to its top level, but it didn't get to its full potential. And trust me, it's not like we were expecting the exact same shit that they did when they did Revolution. Trust me, we don't think that all the time when we watch these pay-per-views. We go into these blind expecting the unexpected, whether the show's going to be good, bad, disappointing, or awful. So, yeah, final grade for the show. I feel maybe it does deserve to be in that B category because it does feel like a B-level show. And I can't complain. It was still very, very good for what it was. Some of the matches delivered. Some of the match is over-delivered. Some matches didn't really need to be here. Belonged on TV, honestly, but whatever. Again, Can't complain about the pay-per-view being 4 hours. We're already attached to that formula. We're stuck with it. There's no point in even bitching about it anymore. There's really not much to do. But as you all saw, it ended up being one of the biggest simulations ever, as all four of us, myself, TJ, Young Wolf, and Katie Kaboom, tied 8-2, doing a fatal four-way simulation, and I lost the title because I was Jillian Hall.
You know you want me.
I was the victim of an abusive simulated relationship. 3 men ganged up on me.
It was nasty work. I do regret to inform.
Should be a Pornhub logo before the start of that fucking sim.
Oh, Lord.
That was wrong.
John Moxley rated promo skills 8 out of 10, in ring skills 4 out of 10. Damn. I mean, he has been kind of wrestling 4 out of 10 lately, but generally, I think he's better than that.
Bro, his promo skills have been so cryptic. It's like he just tells riddles. I'm here to do this. Do what? I'm here to kill this. Kill what? Yeah, I have like the belt. Where?
Like this. That's why I like the Swerve promos, because he actually got to the point where he was talking to Swerve. But yeah, you know, people be talking shit, Young Wolf. Actually, they fucking hate him because he was talking shit about Booker T. So.
Oh yeah, I saw that promo. Look, you all are Booker T creeps. You all support chasing rants. If that's the case, that man went to his school and probably found some kids there. And my word, no. Look, whatever was said about Swerve and Booker T was said. The fact that Swerve stood up and stood his ground and was a man of his word and did what he needed to do, that's it. I don't think at this point in time, like, no one should be taking shit personally. What was said.
Yeah,
is Booker T gonna fucking sacrifice everything that he's done for the business to go find Swerve to fight him?
And I think to put a cap on that Swerve Booker T thing, I think people are so focused on that, but won't look at the greater point that Swerve was making when he even made those original comments to begin with, in that what he wants and what he's happy to be a part of is a company that is putting on a heavy amount of black representation at the moment. If you look at this pay-per-view card, there was a ton of black talent up and down the card being put in prominent positions on this show. Kevin Knight, the Hearst Syndicate, Mercedes Moné, you had Swerve in the main event. Like, and that's just talking about the black talent. Like, we still got luchadors coming in too with guys like Bandito. Like, the idea of multiple cultures being represented on the show is what Swerve thinks should be happening in wrestling on a higher scale, and that's what happened on the show, and it was a good thing. And the fact that Booker basically spit in the face of that is truthfully, it should be below him, but it's unfortunate that that's how he seems to wants to move, on top of the whole associating with the sex offender thing.
The crowd now should be chanting, Booker, we coming for you. Booker, we coming for you.
But I mean, look at the company.
It's not even just look at the company. It's just you let something that was said on Vlad TV go way out of proportion. You literally made yourself sound like an Uncle Tom. Now you just look like a creep going into a wrestling dojo that is run by a registered sex offender who, by the way, still gets booked to do wrestling shows, to go recruit, not just for the reality of wrestling, but we all know to recruit for something else. So your opinions mean nothing at this point. Do your job and shut the fuck up. Get horny over the fact that Stephanie Vaquer skull fucks women on NXT every Tuesdays.
Oh, God.
Get excited for the fact that you get to look at so much more ass than your own wife's. Like, you old, bro. You shouldn't be fighting with these young kids. Pick on somebody your own age. All right? Go pick on Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Go pick on Hulk Hogan. Shit.
Go at fucking Hulk Hogan. Like, go at the fucking racist, man. Like we said and like we talked about yesterday, like last week, or rather. stand up for your fucking people instead of always going
Stand
back and
up
forth.
for your rights. Move on up. Move on up. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
stand up for your damn people.
We stand up for our people all the time, whether they're good or bad. We're talking about wrestling. We're not talking about like, oh, whether they committed murder or sexual assaults, right? No.
Yeah,
We stand up for our black wrestlers. You know, we support them, whether they're indies, locals, or major names in the professional wrestling business. We're not gonna, turn our backs on them because of shit that they've said. It's their views and their opinions, but we have no say. We shouldn't be in this to begin with. The fact that he got all ippity and uppity over a Vlad TV interview just shows that you're the problem, not Swerve. You are, because you can't handle criticism.
Yeah, man, you gotta let it ride. You gotta let it ride as far as that goes.
So at this point, yeah, Swerve had every right to tell you to go fuck off. But yeah, that's it for the Dynasty review. We will be back indeed tomorrow for twitch.tv/Ramblemania show for Come Tuesday TV. For we are going to go back into the 80s watching the cartoon Thundercats.
Thundercats are loose. Thundercats.
Yes. And more importantly, stay tuned for all the other streams we got coming up within the week. But next week, WrestleMania is coming very close. The title will be on the line there. And also, I will not be here on Saturday, for I will be at the Collision show that's taking place up over here where I'm at. So hopefully y'all see me on TV. But it looks like there's been enough talk. There's been enough rambling. For it's time to bring it home here on the Ramblemania show. Great one. Where it is now time for you to tell all the Ramblemaniacs and all the BC aliens where to find us.
Indeed, you already know where to find us. Find us on Instagram at Ramblemania Show, at Banter Club Podcast. Find us on Twitter at Ramblemania, Facebook.com/Ramblemania Show. Also find our group there, Ramblemania Show's Banter Club, where we and the other wrestlers podcasts are ready to be associated with post all that goings on, all that's going down. As far as audio, wherever audio is found, Apple Podcast, Spotify. As far as visuals, twitch.tv/Ramblemania Show. We're on Spotify video. We're on YouTube. Search Ramblemania Show or Banter Club when you get there. Like the videos, click subscribe, click the bell, so that when the new content drops, it goes straight to you. As far as me personally, find me on Instagram at TJ the Great One. That's TJ the GR, the number 8, the number 1. Find me on Twitter at TJ the Great. That's TJ the GR, the number 8. It's as simple as that.
TJ the Great. TJ the Great.
Real shit.
And as always, follow me on Instagram at iZombies, IZomb, IESZ. Thank y'all for joining us here on the review. We will see you tomorrow for Come Tuesday TV. With TJ the Great, I'm Hazel the iZombie. This has been our AEW Dynasty 2025 live review here. We want to wish all of you out there a point and goodies. Here, some fucking sweets.
I'm on the backhand side, and a good fight and a good night. Guns up.
Now go home and smoke some more.
Droga!
Oh, we don't have bison.
You blew it! You had it